Devin, let me tell you a few things about her. She is originally from Ithaca, New York. She works at an Elks Lodge. She organizes events to support veterans. She's done this for the past 4 years. We thank you for your service.
One by one, 9 celebrated teachers stood beneath the glittering chandeliers of Martin's Crosswinds to listen as their praises were sung, their careers extolled, and their nerves put on edge as they, along with their families and friends, anxiously awaited the decision on who among them would be chosen as Prince George's County's newest Teacher of the Year.
You know, we can never pay you teachers back for what you've done for us. You know, your role as educators impacts every single student in this county.
But before the revelation of the 2017 winner, there were tributes to all Prince George's teachers in Roosevelt High School step team's dazzling athleticism and in the poignant words of Amanda Espina, the reigning Teacher of the Year.
This year has been a whirlwind and a tremendous opportunity for me to grow as a teacher. I was constantly surrounded by and in contact with some of the most innovative and, more importantly, caring educators across the state of Maryland. They say the best thing about teaching is that it matters, and that the hardest thing about being a teacher is that it matters every day, every single day. It absolutely does.
Finally, with the 4 finalists and the audience holding their breath, the decision came on who would be Amanda Espina's successor.
It is my honor and my pleasure to announce this year's 2017 Teacher of the Year for Prince George's County Public Schools, who I know will represent us well in the state competition, Carolyn Marcy.
Surprised and humbled at her selection, 5th grade teacher Carolyn Marsky nevertheless was clearly ready to be an advocate for the profession she loves.
Mary McLeod Bethune is an idol of mine, and she often challenged her students and teachers, cease to be a drudge, seek to be an artist. The nominees in this room are the tip of the iceberg. There are so many artists in our midst in Prince George's County Schools. I am incredibly proud to be one of them, and I'm proud to represent great teaching in Prince George's County. Thank you so much for the honor.
After 10 years of teaching history and language arts at Ridgecrest Elementary, Carolyn is now poised to make some history of her own as she goes on to compete for the titles of Maryland and ultimately National Teacher of the Year. The following shows why she has an excellent chance of achieving just that.
Sire, is it wise to do this? I worry that the colonies will turn against us. Many Americans dislike our laws and regulations already. Shouldn't we abolish the tax on tea as a show of goodwill?
You might not confuse a Ridgecrest Elementary School classroom for a Broadway stage, but these days there is a strong resemblance. For on the second floor, reading language arts and social studies teacher Carolyn Marsky is producing and directing Tea Overboard, the story of the Boston Tea Party with, and here's the challenge, players who have never acted, let alone stood in front of a class. Did you enjoy playing Lord North for us for a few moments there?
Absolutely, absolutely. I love seeing students who didn't know they had a skill get the opportunity to try it out and be good. I don't know if you noticed, but there are a couple little guys in that play there that at the beginning of the year, they never would have come up in front of a class, and they'd never had the experience of doing that before. And it's really fun to see them, A, volunteer, and then B, do a really good job of it and feel good about themselves. I love that.
Mrs. Marsky, who spent nearly 20 years doing research and analysis in the private sector, and who holds degrees from Berkeley and Stanford, came
And
to the
that's what should be going
classroom
on in
10
their
years
head when you
ago
meet text.
via the resident
Each
teacher
character should come
program.
alive.
Because when you care about children, as she does, just studying data doesn't do it.
I think you can come to teaching from a lot of different backgrounds, but one thing I think I've brought with me that I didn't anticipate is I can tell the students, not just tell them why it's important to do this research and analyze and think and write, but I can share my own personal experiences with that, because I did it for a living.
From Carolyn's principal, herself a former Teacher of the Year, comes admiration for how Carolyn brings American history to life.
They study the American Revolution, and you'll come in here when they perform their plays, and there will be rifles, and there will be the Boston Tea Party reenacted. So every day you walk in here, it's something different, and it's just magnetic. She really exudes and represents all great teachers, and that's why she should be the Teacher of the Year.
But Carolyn knows that teaching is about more than just history. It's primarily about the human heart.
My son came here in fourth grade, and he had trouble reading. He had trouble in math. He had teachers in the past that affected his self-esteem, and she looped with him fourth and fifth grade, and she changed him.
When they're nervous about something or worried or stressed, and you give them a little pointer, the way they relax, to see them and then try it and break it down for them, instead of a task or a school being stressful, it's manageable. Okay, I can do that. And then I know, I've got something to build on.
From Carolyn's newly confident actors come tributes to her personality and her patriotism, sentiments they didn't have to memorize.
Well, she's a really nice teacher. Sometimes when I have a hard time, she encourages me to not give up. She's such a nice teacher. I wish I can have her for a 6th grade teacher too, and for the rest of my years in school.
Do you feel proud to be an American because of this class?
Yes, very proud.
That's great. And I bet you're proud of Miss Marisky, too.
Yeah, I hope she does a great job in being the teacher of the month.
She actually could be the Teacher of the Year. How about that?
Yeah.
All we have to say to the Broadway cast of Hamilton is eat your heart out. That's Carolyn Marsky, whose devotion to and love for teaching is no act.